Good morning, children. I welcome you all to today's session of English, and we are on to the chapter Our Indian Music, Stories and Anecdotes by R. Srinivasan. Now, first of all, we should understand the necessity of this topic, our Indian music, because India is known, one of the biggest contributions of India to the world is music. Right? India has done tremendously well in the field of music. There are lots of stories about it, there are lots of anecdotes about it, which tells how immensely we Indians have contributed towards it and what a rich culture and rich heritage we have regarding music. Right? As see, children, in this part about the music, it is clearly mentioned music has always had the power to stir our emotions deeply. Stir our emotions means basically to move our soul. Right? It affects our soul deeply. The best performances given by most of our truly great musicians have been those when they have sung or played spontaneously. Spontaneously refers to at that very moment, right? Spontaneously refers to at that very moment. Urged by an inner need to pour out their music, here is a story about one of the greatest musicians who underlines this point. The history of Indian music is brimming with stories and anecdotes, why the very origin of music and other fine arts in itself is a story. Fine arts refers to the instrument part, right? So there is one word here, fine arts. What does it mean? It means instruments. The creator Brahma made this universe. He created a variety of wonderfully beautiful and enchanting things. Enchanting things means eye catching, attractive. He created the majestic mountain range, the thundering waters, falls, and giant forest trees, and also the nimble deer, the colorful peacock, and exquisite flower. Means he has created lot many things. Exquisite flower means see how delicate and how beautiful it is. It is full of smell. It is full of nectar and lot of things. He filled his creation with beauty, charm, and splendor, but he was sad. So he consorts Saraswati. His consort Saraswati asked him the reason for his sadness. Now Saraswati is believed to be the goddess of education. Goddess of education, right? So Brahma was once very sad despite creating so much beautiful things. And Saraswati, Ma Saraswati, Goddess Saraswati asked him, what is the reason of your sadness? Brahma said, it's true I have created all this wonder, charm and showered beauty everywhere. But what is the use? My children, the human soul simply pass them by. They do not seem to be sensitive to the beauty around. It seems to have been wasted on them. This creation seems to be purposeless. So Brahma says, yes, Brahma says, I have created everything here, all the wonders, beauties, and charms showered everywhere, but it's of no use. See, children, many things, when many times when we are thinking about something, when our mind is somewhere else, if even a very beautiful flower is there, very beautiful plant is there, we pay no heed to it. We just go pass by. Sensitive means they are not even sensitive refers to paying no heed to, paying no attention to. Right? So he's saying everything for me it seems to be purposeless. Saraswati understood his feeling and told him, well, let me do my share of the great work. You have created all this beauty and splendor. I shall create in our child the power to respond, to appreciate, and to be uplifted by them. So he's saying that you have done all these things. Let me inculcate in or create this power in the child to respond to it. Right? I shall give them music and other arts which will draw out from deep within them the capacity to respond to the majestic splendor, the exquisite charm, and wondrous beauty of all the creation. So Saraswati says, I'm going to create music in them, and with the help of that, our children will be able to respond to all the beautiful things. Exquisite charm means anything which is eye catchy, which is very captivating, right? The great muse then gave us music and the fine arts in the hope that through men would understand something of the divine in his manifestation. A strange story, yes, but it has a great moral. So he's saying that the great muse then it created the music part and other instruments also with the hope that this man will understand something which is really divine in its manifestation means the various aspects of it, right? Various aspects like ragas, songs, rhythm, and all that. This is a great story, but with a great moral also. One of the basic truths of which all Indian art is developed is that true art is never made to order. It comes as a result of irresistible inner urge. We heard here a song of Tyagaraja and are enthralled. We see a majestic temple tower and gaze on it with wonder. We see some of our ancient sculptures and feel thrilled. Why? Behind all such work of art is a great spiritual urge. The artist who gave them poured their devotion into the shape of such exquisite work of art. It was act of self-effacing dedication. Now, one of the main truth of Indian art is that it is not made from an order. It is from self. It is from within. Tyagaraja, the name mentioned, is one of the greatest musician ever born. And we are enthralled. We feel very happy to hear it. Right? There is a great spiritual urge behind all this great work which is there, and this is this effacing dedication. Self-effacing dedication means the dedication self-pleasing. It pleases the self. The story of Tansen, a great bard of Akbar's court, which illustrates this point vividly. Now, we all have heard about Tansen as one of the greatest musicians who has created lots of instruments like tabla. Tabla has been created by Tansen. There are lots of tals and rhythms, Tansen and tal. You see, they are two synonyms. They are homonyms rather, right? He was very fond of music. One day, when Tansen was in particularly good form, Akbar went into ecstasy and asked him, "What is the secret of this sweet concord of note, which takes me out of this world and transports me to divine regions? I have not heard anyone else who can thus cast a spell of magic and make a slave of our hearts. You are really wonderful, Tansen." So he's saying that Akbar one day came there and he was in a magnificent mood. And he says to Tansen that what kind of magic you know, how it is that when you sing a song, when you cast a magic, then I went into divinity. I see God in front of me. I see all this. So, what is the wonder of this sweet concord of notes? Sweet concord of notes refers to sweet harmony of notes, which has a very soothing effect on mind and has a hypnotizing effect also. The great bard means musician, a person who can sing, a person who can play music. Sir, I am only a humble pupil of my master, Swami Haridas. I have not mastered even a fraction of my master's technique. Grace and charm, what I am behind him, whose music, a rhythmic flow of divine harmony, beauty, and charm and sound. So, Tansin was a very humble person. He says that I am just a small slave of my master, Swami Haridas, who is a great musician, and I don't even know a small fraction of the music, of the art which he knows. So, hearing this, there is a term called rhythmic flow. Rhythmic flow means uh, in a flow is in a sync like that of a river, right? The music is in the form of a river, of a rhythmic flow. What the emperor cried, "Is there anyone who can sing better than you? Is your master such a great expert?" Right? The king says, Ki, "I can't believe that anyone can sing better than you. Is Swami Haridas better than you?" Tansen said, "I am but a pygmy of my master's side." He said, "I am just a small pygmy, is a very small, minuscule kind of uh, uh, creation in comparison to Swami Haridas. Akbar was greatly intrigued. He wanted to hear Haridas, but Emperor thought he could not get Hari to sing to his court. So he and Tansen went to the Himalayas, where in his ashram dwelt the Swami. Tansen has already warned Akbar that the Swami would sing only if he wanted to. Several days they stayed at the ashram, but the Swami did not sing. One day Tansen sang one of the songs taught by Swami and deliberately introduced a false note. It had almost an electric effect on the saint. His aesthetic nature received a rude shock. He turned to Tansen and rebuked him, saying, "What has happened to you, Tansen? that you, a pupil of mine, should commit such a gross blunder. So Akbar was now greatly intrigued, means Akbar was now greatly moved to meet, intrigued here. See this word, children. Intrigued means moved. He was now in a in a mood to meet Swami Haridas. But Tansen has told him that you cannot force him to sing. He will sing only when he wanted to sing. So then they moved to Himalayas to meet Swami Haridas, and there they stayed there. They stayed there for some days, and then one day Tansen sang a song which was made by taught to him by Haridas, and introduced a false note in it. And that had an immediate effect on Haridas, who rebuked him and saying, "Did what has happened to you? How can you sing such a blunder?" Means mistake. Blunder here means mistake. And then Swami Haridas started singing the piece correctly. The mood came up and enveloped him. He forgot himself in the music which filled earth and heaven. Akbar and Tansen forgot themselves in the sheer melody and charm of the music. Right? So then the Swami Haridas started singing, and everything became divine, and everybody was lost in that music. And it was a unique experience. When the music stopped, Akbar turned to Tansen and said, "You say you learnt music from this saint, and yet you seem to have missed the living charm of it all. You seems to be but chaff beside this soul stirring music." So when the music ended, then Akbar said to Tansen that, um, what you say that you have learnt music from him, but trust me, you are not even a small bit of what music, because his music has a living charm that it mesmerizes everything. Tansen says, "It's true, sir. It's true that my music is wooden and lifeless by the side of the living harmony of the melody of the master. But then there is this difference. I sing to the emperor's bidding, but my master sings to no man's bidding, but only when the prompting comes from his innermost self. That makes all the difference." So Tansen here says that it's true that my music is wooden and lifeless. Means he says that my music is like a wood. It has got no life. You have just heard the music of Swami Haridas. It is full of life, and it has a lively charm in it. Right? And he says that this is because I sing when you command me to sing. But Swami Haridas sings whenever he is pleased to sing, or when he likes to sing. And he says this is the difference, right? So with that we come to the end of the chapter. I hope you liked it as much as I did in making it. And until we meet again, it's a goodbye.